credential delegates. I can't hear you.
Those names were not voted on or submitted originally.
Thank you. Thank you for pointing that out. Are there any other names like that that were actually accepted in the credentials committee?
I do not know.
Okay. Well, this first time being brought to
because
this.
I do know that earlier today the discussion was from the credentialing committee that they appointed people and then rescinded them.
Okay.
That should have happened at the same time.
Okay.
The only name. Okay, so from my understanding, Greg Romrell, who is the legislative district chair, the credentialing committee did receive that name yesterday, but he's not here now. He's left.
No, I think you're making a very valid point, and I think we're going to have to subtract those 3 votes. I just want to make sure there's no other votes like that.
Well, I'm only aware of 29 because that's in Idaho County.
Okay. Thank you for the point.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
When Marla just gave me the numbers of all the counties, and we
You need to speak up. I just can't hear you back there.
Marla just gave me the numbers of all the counties, and after lunch, just before we convened, and Adams had none. But I think on this vote, I heard Adams have 3.
Was that from this morning?
After we reconvened from lunch,
No. I mean the numbers you mean from this morning or from the credentialing committee?
The numbers that she has from the attendance
From this
now.
From this morning when we did the roll call. Is that what you're referring to?
I don't know. It was at noon. It was
Can I
at
see
1
the
o'clock.
paper?
It was at 1 o'clock, and then just now.
This was from this, just so everybody knows. From this morning, all we had was a roll call. It doesn't mean that they're the only eligible voters from your districts or from your county. It was this morning. Apparently, those people were not here.
Mr. Chairman.
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
Yes, I just wanted to respond to Mr. Steve Brown's comment. The true point that he made is that Greg Romrell has left for the day. His alternate is here. And as I understand it, we went around asking for how many delegates we have in each county. At the very beginning here, we had 3 delegates and were to be delegates until the credentials report is approved. Because that credentials report was not approved.
That's actually incorrect. We have already ruled that the people who are aggrieved in this process that are being challenged in this process cannot vote. And because the credential committee report has not been approved, they were actually accepted at the credentialing committee. So I actually think the point by the gentleman is accurate and correct. But
We just need clarification. Is it from district or county? Or legislative district or county? I'm from the district, 29.
no. These particular delegates were not seated at the convention until the credentialing committee because they had not, the party had not received their documents.
That is correct.
Yes. So because they are part of the report, they're actually also part of the process that we're going through, so they cannot be accepted as voters.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Absolutely.
Mr. Chairman, point of information. Jeff Howard, Adams County.
Yes.
For the record, Adams County was here at 0930 for the roll call. All 4 from Adams County have been here all day, sir.
Thank you.
Point of information. So are the delegates seated now at 29 actually delegates, or do they need to be removed from the floor? The gentleman who was just speaking.
Yeah, no one is removed from the floor. During this process, you cannot vote if there's a question about your credentials, but you can remain on the floor.
However, their votes were removed, were they not, from this last vote? Did you not subtract 3 votes from the last vote?
I'm subtracting 3 votes, but they can still remain on the floor.
But they continue to vote.
No, they cannot continue to vote.
Okay.
Correct, thank you. Motion is rejected and the vote is 245 to 170. Oh, it's 170 to 245. 170 yes, and 245 no.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
Zach Heather, candidate. I move that for further votes on this divided question that we dispense with the roll call vote and use voting by division.
Request of the chair. It's become more than obvious these last few hours that there is confusion and misunderstanding from the state level down to the district level and to the county level as to how delegates are selected. We have no guarantee that the 41 counties that have been seated follow the same procedure and the same process to select their delegates. If we are going to err, I ask you to err on the side of inclusion.
I think the point that needs to be made is that at some point the rules have to be laid out. Everybody has to know what they are, and everybody goes by the same rules. That's the whole point. There has to be consequences for not learning what the rules are. There's no excuse to not know what they are. They're available. The point has to be made. Consequences have to be followed.
And we complained about gridlock in Congress, right? I was actually having more fun last week, you know? I think we need to go home and start over. I move for adjournment.
No! The establishment speaks.
Okay. The motion is out of order, but frankly, we're within 2 minutes of adjournment, and that may actually occur in just a couple of minutes. So. Because we're still following the order of the day. It's 2 minutes. Sorry. Now when the agenda is set. What's the motion on the floor? Okay, hold on. Yeah, the second county is Power County, and we have that motion on the floor. Is there any debate in favor of the motion regarding Power County?
Mr. Chairman, Power County has left in protest.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
Debbie Theo, Precinct 2106 in Ada County. It is amazing that this many people came on a Father's Day weekend to participate in democracy. And no, Well, yeah, very
Can we please be respectful?
That would be really nice if we could, do that. But I have to tell you that I am disappointed because I came to participate, as well as all of our delegates did. Everybody here did. And there are 3 people that we knew of that wanted to run for party chairman. I wanted to hear from all 3 of them, and then let the votes go where they may, and then we go out supporting a leader and uniting the party. This is no way. You've actually taken away 3 counties' right to vote in this process, and it's just wrong. And I know all of you, there are 44 counties, I guarantee you, I bet there are 40 different ways that shows up that delegates is to come here to participate. And the Credentials Committee, it ignored those opportunities for the 3 counties. If you could tell me that all these counties did the exact same thing, the exact same way, I'd go for it. But don't say that you all obeyed the rule. What are the rules? Every county has a right to choose the delegates to the convention. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman. Yes. Levi Kenny County. I understand it's really frustrating for a lot of us here. It's also frustrating for me too here. And I'm not politically correct, so I'm just going to speak my mind and my heart. The problem is that rules have been broken for such a long time since I've been here and watching this whole process, not just today, but throughout my years here in the Canyon County and all. And you know what? There cannot be any sort of unity. I keep hearing unity, but you know what? There's been too much fraud and corruption going on, and until that stops, the party will not be unified.
And I've been involved in this party a lot of years. It's a great party. We're a great Republican party. We're going to go defeat the Democrats. But where it all first starts is talking to each other. So I hope if you have a problem with somebody or something going on, give them the respect of talking to them first. And we'll go far in Idaho. And good luck.
Amen. Amen.
Mr. Chair, Marie Nicole from White County. No one even came here from Power County. I just want to make that clear.
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, I think that I deeply respect the opportunity. I've got to raise this up a little bit. I deeply respect the opportunity to speak and to be able to look about my fellow Republicans that are on this floor. I also think that one of the things that takes place is that a smaller on the Credentials Committee representation was not heard. In Twin Falls, we had the representation. We had people who were there. We heard about it. And Chairman Peterson, I'm glad you're looking at me right now because you have something on here right now that you said. If the people's voice doesn't matter, then why have elections? Well, I will tell you that whatever took place on that Credentials Committee, the voice was not heard, Chairman Peterson. It's a leadership position that takes place here. What I would encourage us all to do is realize that as we go out and we fight, we have to find a way to do it together and not look for ways to be able to sit there and find other ways. And Raul, I appreciate the way they're doing things, and let's find a way to do it. And let's not have people stand up that are everybody's just half doing this. And let's not have people tell us that we got to find a way to do it. Let's come back to each county and find a way to do it. And I don't need to have Butte County, I don't need to have Jerome County tell me about it. Ada County needs to find a way to be able to do it and let us do our own thing with it. Well, we've done a good job with it. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
It's on this side.
Debate on nobody's vote. So is anybody going to speak against the motion, or should we just go to a vote? Let's go to a vote.
Against the motion.
Okay.
We heard from, I'm sorry, I have to take it down. I heard from Tom Luna and somebody else talking about how they wanted to assure that every county did it the right way. The place for that is to make an allegation in front of the Credentials Committee and to have them discuss it. That was done with 3 counties. I observed, and they sounded like fairly sound cases to me. I did not hear cases against other counties. So if you think that other counties didn't do it properly, then you would need to address it through the Credentials Committee, not by saying that just because our county didn't follow the rules, well, others don't either, and we should let it slide.
Right. Politics is usual.
Having it be 3:05, 5 minutes past the published adjournment time and not in the middle of a vote, I move that this convention adjourn.
Maybe it'd be a better idea to have a vote to see who we're going to elect for chairman of the party.
It's non-debatable.
Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, Rich Hersey, District 15. Point of order. We're supposed to be given 5 minutes to each, and we've given more than 5 minutes to each side, so I call for the question.
You're calling for the question on which motion?
Is it, well, point of information, is Power County gone? It's a moot point to vote on Power County. I call for it.
Without objection, I think it's a moot point to vote on Power County. Does anybody disagree with that? Okay.
So without objection, I move that we call for the question for Ada County.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
There is a motion to adjourn and a second on the floor, and I believe that is non-debatable.
That is non-debatable, and it requires a 2/3 vote.
The motion to adjourn is a privileged motion unless there is an agendized time for adjournment, which there is. Therefore, the motion for adjournment is actually parliamentary. It sounds strange, it's out of order. We're supposed to adjourn anyway. If you want to stay, you have to alter the order. You have to change the sequence of events by voting for it. A 2/3 vote to suspend the orders of the day, which is to adjourn at 3 o'clock. Does everyone understand that? The agenda says we're supposed to adjourn.
Point of order.
The agenda says we're supposed to adjourn, and adjournment can occur even if there's a motion on the floor, as long as you're not in the middle of a ballot. If you're in the middle of a ballot, you cannot adjourn. But if you're in the middle of a vote, the chairman can adjourn. If you want to stay, you must suspend the orders of the day with a 2/3 vote to stay.
Point of information. Yes. What's up? This is my first time. Yeah, crazy. Can I get information on what are the consequences if we just adjourn? Because that can't be good. We don't have officers or we don't have a party. We're partyless. By the way, I'm a big fan of you.
Thank you. Even after today?
Just some mash like you, so.
Well, if we adjourn, the current chairman remains the chairman, and the current agenda, everything that the platform, everything that the party has right now remains the same if we adjourn at this time.
But don't their terms end at the adjournment, or do they just like loop over? I'm not trying to be. I just
you're asking a great question. It's a great question. We're going to recess for a second.
He doesn't have a clue what he's doing.
I have a question on the